Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Hope everyone had a wonderful day today. Today is Thursday, so it's getting close to the weekend. And I'm ready for the weekend. I'm always ready for the weekend. So I hope y'all guys have something planned. Y'all don't have nothing planned. It's just relaxing. you know, Ha- Getting from Monday to Friday is a struggle for me, especially dealing with these little children, these little lovely angels. So getting through the week it's a lot of work. Getting through the week. Hey, magnificent, beautiful Tyler, how are you? Thank you for sliding through. Hey, yo, it's Mike. How are you? Good to see you. I'm not going to be up here too long. Actually, I was going to have an open panel. I was going to talk about a lot of things that, men and women, but especially women. Um, I wanted to do kind of like a recap of what, I seen on Miss Akimi's live. And, I forgot to reach out to Miss Akimi. I hope she knows that I'm going live, but I forgot to reach out to her and let her know about the live. And I think I told your thoughts and a few other people. But if people don't get to make it, because it's a lot of people that seems like they go live at the same time that I decide to go live. But since I work, um, kind of just have to get in where I fit in. So I'm gonna really be talking a lot about those things, things that women go through, that what they've, what we experience, how we deal with them, and things of that nature. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with who the F that did I marry. That is a pretty interesting. Um, that's a saga. I mean, she has like so many videos describing her event, meeting this guy, falling in love with him, just to find out that he was a whole scammer. And as women, we sometimes get emotionally tired a little too fast because we want to be in love. Hey, Silverback, how are you? We want to be in love, and we don't even check out the situation before we go all the way in. So and I know I've done it, but I don't think, but I've never been in love. I've just been infatuation with, be infatuated with someone. But even when you've been infatuated with someone, I remember it was a guy down here in Texas. I was so into him. I think I told you, if you guys can remember, he had a lot of kids, but he was divorced and he was a lot older than me. But I really was infatuated with him. But had things turned out the way I wanted to, I might be right now married and unhappy. Number one, he had too much baggage and he had too many kids. But at the time, I thought I knew everything. I thought that you know um, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what I wanted. you know, hey Joe, how are you? I didn't know what I wanted, but I thought I did. You know what I'm saying? So he is married to a linebacker at this time, and she has 4 kids, and he has 6 kids. So they're like a happy little family, a Brady Bunch. So I'm glad that he chose the linebacker instead of me, because I don't think I could deal with that at this point. Not having any kids to having a house full of kids, that would be a really extreme for me. So God knew best. So this young lady, I'm gonna share this video with you. I saw until I get a few more people in here. I did link the I linked the link in the chat. So if anybody would like to hit it, especially a female, I would appreciate it. It could be a male. I can have a male up here, But I want to talk a little bit about, like I said, a lot of things that we go through in relationships, a lot of things that women experience. And like I said, I want you guys to check this out if you haven't. I thought this was so interesting because I'm like, I know this lady is not for real. But things like this happen because why? We are so easily we're swayed when we want to fall in love so bad. And the guy that does a really good commentary, it's very fast because, like I said, she has a saga, different videos on TikTok. She is a well-known TikToker, or whatever you call, content creator, and she has did a number of like a few minutes of her story. So he's going to just do a really fast version of it. And it's Who Did I Just Marry? Now, a part of my live is talking about you have to be, hey, Miss Feline, you have to be more than just makeup. The real you shows through the makeup. Who you are, whether you're desperate, whether you're mean, whether you're messy, whether you're conniving, whether you're mean spirited. Hey, Jay, how are you? Thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, and I'm feeling good. I went to go get a pedicure, got my just got out the shower, so I am feeling good. I'll come up just a little bit just to say hi. Hey everybody, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you guys for coming through. Make sure you press the like button. I would appreciate that. And also push the notification. So just in case I go live in the next couple of days, you will know. So it's good to see you guys. Yeah, I just got out the shower, so I'm feeling real good. So after I finish with you guys, I'm going to be relaxing and going over some homework. So I'm gonna go back in my little shell. I just want to let you know, hey, because I don't, really cam up a lot. So I want to let you know that I am still here in the I don't have a hair bonnet and a gown on. So let me share this with you. I think this was interesting. I want to see some of your comments, what y'all think about this. Let me know if you guys can hear.
Just married. There's this TikToker named Risa, and y'all have been blowing me up about this person. And I looked it up, and this woman has like 10-minute video.
She has 10 minutes. That's why I said it's a whole saga. This guy is named Derek Branch, and he is talking about this particular TikToker that got married, right? And she married someone that she really didn't know because she was so in love.
About how Risa ended up marrying this pathological liar. Now, just about every single video has 500,000. So y'all know what to do. Get your tea and get your snacks, because this is about to be good. Now, guys, all of her videos take like 9 or 10 hours to watch. I'm going to bust it down in 2. If you want to watch it yourself, you can go here. The rest of y'all, you're with me. Let's go. Okay, guys, so Risa makes this introduction video. She says she's going to break down the whole thing, the whole truth, even the stuff that don't even make her look good, the whole thing. And it starts off like this. Risa meets this guy on Facebook on March 4th. We're going to call him Ted. She later notices that she also matched with Ted on Hinge. Eventually, they have their first phone call. Ted says he just moved to Georgia. He's a regional manager for some company. He just went through a divorce. He caught his wife cheating on him. Right now, his job pays for his apartment, and they're helping him find a house. Just basic stuff. His job is very demanding. He doesn't know many people out here. He's just working through it. Risa says she works state patrol. Basically, guys, they're getting to know each other. Now, they talk for a few more days, and they set up their first date at the Cheesecake Factory, which is funny because supposedly Cheesecake Factory is like one of the first worst dates that you could choose. But Risa was down. Now, on the way there, she says she heard a boom. Whatever that means, it made her swerve a little bit. But she was able to figure it out and she was okay unscathed. But
let me tell you this, and I think some men do it because, I have to stop, since I'm using someone else's content talking about this particular story. But we, as sometimes as women, we fantasize relationships. We sometimes, I know for me, I have made things more than what they were, right? Just to find out that it was my imagination. It wasn't really the actual facts of what was going on at the time. But because I wanted the best and I wanted the situation, I romanticized a lot of ideas that just wasn't there. And the young lady, as you've heard, she went to Cheesecake Factory. They had a wonderful first date or initial meeting, and they started to really vibe with each other. After they started to kind of vibe with each other, then she was just like, man, I met an awesome man. And sometimes you're like that when you first meet someone, but you don't trust nobody face value. That's where a lot of people mess up. And even though we would like to, in a perfect world, that's great, but we can't do that in the real world. We can't trust people face value. So sometimes after you meet someone, and then say, for instance, my car has a flat, right? And instead of me calling AAA, I called that same guy that I had a wonderful, dinner with or lunch, and he comes and rescues me like a knight in shining armor. It's the same thing we used to watch as little girls when we watched Disney movies like Cinderella, Snow White. And just to be honest with you, there's no Prince Charming. There's a woman and a man trying to figure out how to love each other. At the end of the day, some people are more damaged than the other. It works and sometimes it don't work. You got some people that's committed to making it work, and you got another person over there that's not committed to anything but what they want. So people in this day and time in relationships is just messed up.
But ended up getting a flat tire. She calls Ted and say, look, yo, my tire's flat. I don't know what to do. He was like, just stay right there. I'll pull up. I got you. Now, when he pulled up, she said this fine 6'5" man got out the car. And she was like, oh my God, you look just like your pictures. This man got out his car and replaced her tire for her. When he was done, he was like, Risa, you can't drive on that replacement tire. So let's go over to this shop down the street. They go to the tire shop, and this man paid for the entire service. Risa was like, wow. And then they drove their car to Cheesecake Factory, got out the car, and he held her hand into the building. Risa was like, I'm having...
Yes, and this isn't fair use. Did I have my little thing up? That's what I need to put up. But yeah, so far, can you kind of see where this is going? She's been rescued by a Prince Charming. So let's figure it out what's gonna happen next.
Butterflies, like, wow. But their table wasn't ready yet, so they go back outside and just start talking. And he lays it all on the table. He's saying he ready to be married. He ready to have kids, a house, picket fence, all that. Risa says she wanted the same thing. The table's finally ready. They go inside. And their first date was a vibe. After the date, they don't go home. They both get in his car. And they get to talking again. He was like, I got to show you a song. This man started playing John Legend, A Good Night. And made sure she heard the part when he said, I think I just met my wife. So this right here making Risa melt.
Yeah, this messes up lonely women. And I'm not saying this young lady has been lonely all her life, and just hasn't had a lot of luck and love. But sometimes when you are a lonely woman and you finally meet somebody that shows some interest in you, you really are not thinking clearly because you've waited so long for it. So you want to hope and believe that it's real when it might not be.
They continue to get to know each other. In San Diego, Ted used to play arena football. He was in the championships. He worked a lot of IT. They talked about each other's exes. I don't know how that happened. She tells him how she dated someone from work, which Risa says that gets brought back up later. She go home. I thought he was going to hit for show, but that didn't happen. Now, after this, Risa and Ted continue to go on dates. Now, remember, this is 2020 March. So 2 weeks later, Georgia had to shut down because of COVID. Risa and Ted didn't want to be apart. So Risa's like, are we quarantining at your house or my house? Ted's like, either one is cool, but just remember, I'm in like a studio apartment. My job is still trying to find me a house. Ted even shows Risa an email that his job is still trying to find him a house. Risa was like, well, I got a 3-bedroom house, so you just come over here. Risa did feel like it was a bad decision because she goes to church and basically now she's shacking up without getting married. And she kind of skipped here because she said they were quarantining. But after that sentence, she said he moved in. Why would it's been like 3-4 weeks. You don't even know this man. Like, guys, why do y'all do this? I get it, you're in love, but what the hell? Now Risa was like, hey y'all, I get it. But this man moved in and he's paying all the bills. He's paying all of the rent and the utilities. I just got to handle the little stuff. And she was loving the feeling of not having to pay a bill. On top of that, they were both clean. They were both cook. So living together was a vibe. But damn it, guys, where's my glasses? Don't do that. Wait like at least a year. If I was wrong, then we wouldn't have this tragic story right here. Dead.
How long would you guys wait to be with somebody, like, or live with someone? I remember, like, my grandmother would always tell me, don't be shacking before marriage, because why would a man buy the cow when he has the milk for free? And I would hear that a lot. So I always was taught not to shack. But some people say you never really know someone until you live with them, right? So I wonder what do y'all think about that? Do y'all move fast in relationships? And I think a lot of people, especially around the COVID time in the year of 2020, a lot of people were having COVID relationships because you couldn't go out and socialize. You couldn't really see people, but those people that were around you, close to you. So a lot of COVID relationships happen. So sometimes those COVID relationships happen with just convenience. It wasn't because they were actually, and some of them may have loved each other or liked being around each other, but a lot of the relationships formed around that time because of the COVID, and people were lonely. So this, relationships was the next best thing.
Yeah, stop it. I know you love him, but get your own crib. Let him get his own crib and visit. Now, a couple days later, a week, I don't know, they decide to have a serious talk. Because Ted's getting his house within a month. Is it going to be just for him, or is it going to be both of them? He shows Risa paperwork that he got approved for $750,000 on a mortgage. Risa was like, yeah, I don't know if I can afford a mortgage like that. So if you can, sure. Ted says, no, chill. Arena Football paid him well. He invested the money in a lot of places, offshore accounts. He got multiple bank accounts, all that. So they agree to get this house together because they're both serious about this relationship. Ted contacts his realtor friend and they find him a house in Douglasville. When Risa tells this story, she says, I owe this realtor an apology for something she did. I don't know yet, guys, but we gonna get there. April comes around and they do like a FaceTime viewing of the house. I guess that's something they did in COVID. I'm not doing that shit. I gotta see the house. They end up liking the house, and Ted tells Risa that he put it in an offer. Now at this point, Risa says they're girlfriend and boyfriend. I don't know how we got there, but we're here. And it's been a month-ish. They're official. The realtor calls Risa and says, hey, we need proof of funds for the house you're getting. Risa says, I don't know much about that. You got to call my man. He says, okay. Risa assumes they talk, but still later lets her man know that like he's looking for the paperwork. Ted says, don't worry. I sent the paperwork. We were approved. We just need a house inspection and we can do a virtual closing. And Ted says, I already put down $5,000 on the house. We should be in there by June. Now, guys, this is where it gets interesting. 4 days later, the realtor calls Risa again. The realtor says, hey, Risa, are y'all still getting the house? I haven't heard from you. Risa was like, what do you mean? I thought we were set up. Realtor's like, I don't got nothing on my end. Risa's like, my man put down $5,000. Realtor's like, okay, I'll give him a call. Now, at this point, guys, Risa said this was her first red flag. And this is our first red flag of who the hell did we just marry? Risa calls Ted and tells him what the realtor said. Now, I don't know if this is the narcissistic pathological stuff right here, but Ted gets mad. He's like, that realtor shouldn't be calling you. He should only be talking to me. She's like, well, did you put the offer in? Ted says, no, I put the offer in with a friend who's also a realtor so I can give him the business. Which, that's what she said verbatim. I don't even know what that means. Risa's like, well, is the house under contract or not? He's like, yes. Later, Risa checks the house online because she wanted to like figure out how she was going to decorate it. And the house said it was under contract. Ted was like, oh, you didn't believe me, huh? Which low-key she didn't. But this gave her some faith. Ted's like, I want to start ordering furniture. I want to make sure it's all in stock so when we get the crib, it's all ready. The sellers of the house said they're taking the appliances. So they had to get that too. So they go to Home Depot and get everything that they need.
So he's selling her a whole bunch of dreams. Hey, Shantire Mint, how are you? He's selling her a whole bunch of dreams. $5K on a $750K house. I call BS. Right. I mean, and I hope I spoke to Peep Game. Hey, Peep Game and Shantire Mint. See, all of these lies should have been her red flag. And I know she's thinking, okay, something's not right about this, because as women, and sometimes men have it too, it's a thing called, everybody I think possesses discernment. Some people have more than others, but it was something in her, like something just ain't right, and that was what was going through her mind, but she just wanted to believe the best in the situation. She wanted to have that picket fence, and with the two kids and the 2-car garage and the loving husband that just so into her. I mean, I don't know any woman unless they are lesbians, or they have just decided that being single, they're much more happier single. But every little girl, when they grew up, wanted a life like that, for the most part. There was some young girls that, I don't want to ever get married. I want to be a career woman. I want to be able to travel the world and do all. So of course, different women have, different desires, but for the most part, we were taught as little girls to want to get married, have the kids and the house and the picket fence and the 2-car garage. That's what we grew up, for the most part. And then you see her, and I'm pretty sure she's either in her mid to late 30s. I'm gonna let y'all look at her, but I just want you to get a background of her information, of her story. Now, this is 14 minutes, and let me see where we are in the video, because he's talking. But just imagine if you're going through all these different videos that she did. It's so much time. So we're in the 7 and 39 minute mark. So I'm gonna play it a little bit more.
They get all of the appliances and furniture on hold, and Risa watches him put down the down payment. Then May comes around. They still haven't done the inspection. Risa was like, Ted, what's the holdup? And it seems to be like there's always some kind of like excuse. And there was. Ted said that the inspection guy got COVID, so it's going to take a little longer. Now, at this point, Risa's like, something is wrong here and things are not adding up. So she makes an audio diary and records all of her thoughts, everything dated. Something just told her she needed to do this. She's thinking he's lying, but she's like, how could he be lying if I'm literally watching him pay for everything? I haven't caught him in a lie before. She said, maybe I'm just not used to a good man. So time goes on. It's the middle of May, and guys, oh my God. Risa finds out that she is pregnant. Yeah, I know, guys, pregnant. And they met 2 months.
So that puts a different layer on it when someone is pregnant. When someone is having a baby, that changes everything, right? When it was just you two, it wasn't a big deal. Y'all could figure it out. But when another human being comes in the picture, it's the whole dynamic of the relationship changes.
Months ago. Wait. You let him hit Raw? Risa, you let him hit Raw?
Yeah, that should have been like something she shouldn't have done, but I digress.
Raw? Guys, stop letting these men hit you raw in the first 2 months. Raw! She tell Ted, this man happy as hell. He like, yes, yes. How are you doing that? And it's been 2 months. That's insane. Risa was panicking. Not only that, she's like in her 40s. So she's like, bro, this is like a pregnancy risk. She goes to the hospital. They don't let Ted in because it's COVID. Doctor was like, yep, Risa, you're pregnant. And it's going to be due around January 26th. Risa was like, oh my God, we really got to get this house now. She goes to Ted and say, when is the inspection going to happen? He said, I'm going to call. He came back and said it's going to happen in 2 days. The inspection came back and they said the roof was replaced. There's only minor issues. We should be set to close in May. Ted says they're preparing to do a virtual closing. Risa still had this nagging feeling that something was wrong. She felt like for some reason they're not getting this house. She didn't even start packing because she didn't believe it. So she continued the audio diaries. She's like, am I going crazy? She's like, what if we don't get this house and he's lying? But why would he lie? Am I jaded? But I watched him pay for everything. Now, they were supposed to close before Memorial's Day. And just as Risa expected, another excuse. They still ended up not closing on the house. June rolls by. Something in Risa's spirit told her to go look at the house on Realtor.com. She checks it out, and the house was now off the market. Risa like, what the hell?
So what you guys think happened if it's off the market? Is he surprising her and buying the house? Like, what do you think that, what kind of lie do you think he's going to come up with? Not only do you have to be pretty, you know, you also need to be smart. You know, people get so into the outside look that they forget common sense. They forget that common sense will take you a long way. Makeup, looking good, surgeries, all these kind of cosmetic enhancements is okay if that's what you want to do with your money. But there's also a thing that you need to have is common sense. It's nothing worse than a beautiful woman that has no common sense. At her age, at 40, and she's made, like I said, we've all made mistakes. You know, I don't care who it is, you're going to make mistakes in life. But when you get to the age of 30, and especially 40, there's some things that you're going to have to really pay attention to and not rush into something because your biological clock is ticking. And then when you make the decision, you're going to have to stand on it, right? So I would have been embarrassed to bring this to TikTok or any type of social media platform, because as you can see, as she put her business out there, everybody is talking about it for the most part on YouTube. I'm just saying, it takes more than looks. It takes more than being pretty. It takes some common sense. And a lot of people, not just women, but men too, lack common sense.
Ted just said we're about to close. And he's the one that's been in contract the whole time. Also, it now turns out that the original realtor that was talking to Risa is not involved with any of this. Risa's like, this doesn't make any sense. So she starts doing some digging. She saw a realtor's name and their contact info on the house that was sold. She calls the realtor and says, yo, me and my man really wanted this house. It says it's off the market. Is it no longer available? And the realtor's like, yeah, the sellers closed on the house yesterday. Risa was like, to who? The realtor's like, to an older white couple.
Wow.
And the call ends there. Risa was like, what the fuck? Risa was like, okay, I see what's going on. She makes another audio recording and says, okay, there is no house. And Ted now has to figure out a way to get out of this lie. That means for sure this whole time he was never under contract. So when I ask him about it, he's going to say it's like a bad deal or something. After understanding all of this, Risa made the decision. I'm going to still have his kid. I mean, he's paying all the bills. And I'm going to let him get out of this lie. Which, by the way, guys, when I heard this, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Now, hey, Mondo, how are you? Good to see you. Now, at a 40-year-old woman thinking this way, like I said, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. And my heart goes out to her because I'm pretty sure, like most women, we want to find the right person. Even men sometimes want to find the right person. So they don't want to just be with woman to one, go from woman to woman. Some do, but everybody wants to be loved, right? But like, again, at 40 years old, you're at the age now where you have to hold yourself more accountable for the decisions that you make. You're not no little girl anymore. You're not that 20-year-old girl that can, make bad decisions and just, go on because you still have a full life ahead of you. You're almost past that, you're getting close to that mark in life where 50, hey, you're almost halfway there. So halfway there to the grave. And for some people, you know, thank God, because some people don't even make it to 40. But the point of the matter is, when you get older, there's decisions that you just have to be a little bit more careful about. And you have to have common sense. Discretion, what is that? It's something where it's like it's nothing worse than a beautiful woman with no uh discretion, then with it's I think it's no with no discretion, and then it says it's like a pig with a gold ring in his nose. And I think that's in Proverbs. Basically it's saying a beautiful woman with no discretion is really just a waste. So a pig with a gold ring in his nose, that's a waste. Gold and a pig that eats everything in his sight. So comparing the two makes a lot of sense because either way, it's a waste. And this young lady is at the age now where she should know better. There's just certain things and situations you shouldn't even get involved with, or you should just really run away from because you already have been down this road if you in your went through your 30s and made bad decisions, or even in your 20s and 30s. So there's certain things that I won't put up with in my 30s or in my 40s or when I get my 50s or whatever, because I should have learned along the way. You know what I'm saying? But you have some women in their 40s, they act like they 20. And same with men. They lack discretion. They lack common sense. They lack discernment. It's really messed up how these people make the decisions that they do. And a lot of it is because either they lack maturity, or they just lack common sense. And common sense is just not common.
Why? Ted comes home that day, he doesn't say much. The next day, Risa asks about the house. Ted says he's talking to his realtor and something is wrong with the interest rates. Risa said she felt relieved because she knew he would do that. So she says, okay, let's just not move there. But we need to be moved out by the end of the year. I'm not trying to be 9 months pregnant moving. Ted says, okay, I'm going to go get my 5K back. Risa was like, yeah, go get your 5K back so we can find us a house. Mid-June rolls by, guys. Risa starts cramping and bleeding at work. Earlier that day, she got an ultrasound and everything was fine. But when this happened, she started crying because she was like, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. The doctors call about her ultrasound, and they weren't able to see a heartbeat. Okay, guys, I'm leaving y'all on that cliffhanger. I just turned an hour into 12 minutes. If you want me to keep going, ask for episode 2.
And that's the young lady behind him that is sharing her story. And let me see if I can find another video with her. Like I said, everyone makes mistakes. And this is, if you want to check the part 2 on what happened, you can go to his live. It's Derek Branch. And he talks about it. He talks about why did I just marry part 2. So he gives the fast version on that as well. And if you're interested in, but like I said, it's very sad when you are at a certain age in your life and you still making stupid mistakes. Like I said, none of us are exempt, right? But at the same time, you have to think beyond how you feel, because your feelings can get you in a horrible marriage with a person that you can't trust. They just look good to you. They make you feel good, but there's no substance behind it. And that's what I would say with men, you have to be very careful on being so, being so attracted to a woman's looks that you forget to actually get to know a person. Because sometimes, if, not all, but sometimes, if a woman is beautiful, um, you're going to have to deal with certain things. You may have to deal with the attention that she brings. Some men don't like that. Some women are so into their looks, because that's all that they have. They don't see any more worth in themselves besides their beauty. And so those are the type of women that you have to be careful about, because they will take everything you have in the bank, not in the bank, under the bed, wherever, whatever money you got, they're gonna find it. So, and that's not all beautiful women. That's not all pretty women. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, you got some unattractive women do the same thing. They just got a good mouthpiece, So when I did this live originally, I really thought about how, as women, we put so much focus on the outside, but then the inside we really abandon. We really don't. We really don't look at some of the things that we need to deal with on the inside of us. Some of us have terrible attitudes. We have a terrible spirit. I know at one point, and I still do. I can really have, especially if you rub me the wrong way, I can really have a bad attitude, and anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really kind of see what my triggers were. And when I start to see kind of what my triggers were, I stopped letting certain things get me where those things would come out. Sometimes they still come out every now and then, but for the most part, I try to work on those things, those triggers that I have. It's some women they are beautiful on the outside because they take care of themselves. Like today, I got a pedicure. They keep the nails done, they keep their hair done, their face is always immaculate. They dress in the latest designer clothes. They have everything on the outside, but they lack a lot of other things that will actually keep your attention. That's why a lot of these men that have a lot of money, they have multiple women, because most of the women are just good to look at. There's nothing more than that. And that's not, again, all pretty women are not like that. You have pretty women and beautiful women that are actually smart, that are actually sweet and kind, but they are, just like anything else, sometimes there's few and far in between, So there's a lot of things that as women, we put a special emphasis on our looks when our inside is lacking, and those are the things that I kind of look at, because I said, I think I'm not half bad. You know what I'm saying? I can go without makeup. I can do, I feel like I look decent. So, but that still doesn't mean that I can go around treating people any kind of way just because I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes, and y'all let me know this, because I don't want to feel like I'm talking by myself, talking to myself, because, I'm not one of those people that Just love to hear myself talk and ain't talking about nothing. But yeah, I just think about things like that. And I say, it's so many times that as women, we focus on this outside, but our inside is jacked up from from the head to the toes. I mean, just jacked up. You can't tell us nothing. We too prideful. We got an ugly spirit. We're very vindictive and vengeful, you know. And I'm talking about women this time. I'm not talking about men. I've talked about men too, because like I said, it's a people thing. It's a universal thing. It's not just a woman or a man thing, but I'm just, because I'm a woman, that's what I'm talking about. But like I said, and sometimes it's not even all like, somebody being mean and vindictive. Sometimes some women, like I said, they lack a lot of common sense. There's just certain things that you should not get yourself involved with because you're at an age now where you've been there and you've done it. So you're not going to keep making the same stupid decisions when you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. At least you shouldn't. You should get beyond the point to where now you have enough sense that I'm not going to go down that road because I seen where it took me. So you have that, have some women, they have it, they have the career, they have the looks, they have the education, but that's it. They're not loving, they're not fun, they're boring. Sometimes they just lack just common courtesy. I mean, education gets you a long way. I not only am I, a teacher, but I went back to school to get another degree. So education will get you a long way. But your attitude and how you work with other people and your reputation as you work, it takes you even farther than that, I think. And if people get beyond, so much of the superficial stuff, I think we all could be better people. But unfortunately, because social media is the way it is, it's going to be that way. People see you, they ain't going to say, oh, you look like you have a beautiful heart. Initially, people see your outside. Just to be honest with you, no one looks at you and say, oh, you have a beautiful heart, Selena. They don't know me. They going by what they look. They going to look, oh, she got a big ass or big tits, that kind of thing. Or she got a cute face or whatever. That's where they're going to be looking. And then if they choose to get to know you, and then you spend time with a person, then if you decide to open up, then they'll start to see, oh, this person is this way, this person is that way, and then you can make your judgments on that. But you get like I said, you get some of these women, that do have it all together, and they think that their looks and their education and their career will get them, or they should be able to get what they want. And sometimes it takes a little bit more than that. And it may just be something really simple, like smiling every now and then when you see a man, what I'm saying, a man that you like or attracted to, or being nice to people just because it's the right thing to do. Being courteous, that kind of stuff that people seem to forget in 2024. So you see that you hear all this kind of stuff. And like I said, bless the lady's heart. She, like so many of us, want to be in love with the right person. But I think she probably went about it the wrong way. And if you're waiting for a miracle to drop from the sky, then you're going to be waiting. Because with faith without works is dead. You can't just sit at home and expect something to drop out the air. At the same time, you can't be going out every time looking and searching and saying, is he the one? Is he the one? Is that the one? Then that would just be weird. Sometimes when you live your life things come to you, you know. And so that's what I've been learning to do. I've been learning to live my life and enjoy it. I'm going to be traveling soon. I'm going to be doing some things that I want to do for myself to make me happy, traveling with my friends or some of my cousins, or and meeting, I go different places and meet all different types of people. That is living your life, doing things you enjoy doing hobbies you haven't did in a while, and going certain places that you'll meet the type of people that you want to meet. I like art, so I would go to art museums, and Dallas has a really good art museum, and as well as the Perot Museum, Dallas Museum of Art. So those are the places that I would go to get out of my comfort zone of Oak Cliff, because I don't want, I've been around that. I don't want a hood brother. You know what I'm saying? And all things in the hood ain't bad. That's another thing. But, I want to spread my horizon. So you do different things to get what, or be around what you want to attract, if that makes sense. So with that being said, you can't go around with an attitude. You can't go around being, got your nose up in the air. Because like I said, just because you think you look good, that's not going to always get you far. It's going to have to be more about you to attract what you want. Number one, you have to be emotionally available to receive whatever you're trying to get. Because when you're emotionally available, you're able to be open enough to get to know someone, you know. Also, I would say having the right pleasant spirit about you. Not that aggressiveness, like, what you looking at, nigga, and all that kind of stuff. That's weird. Or somebody, what you looking at, or can I help you? All that kind of stuff. You can't be doing it. But some of these women, even if they don't say it, it's in their demeanor. Their demeanor is it's a little rough. And they could have them stilettos. They could be looking real cute, but their demeanor is just a little too much. So those are things that I have kind of, looked at and seen as women, how we carry ourselves. And like I said, with this story, and with a lot of other stories, you'll find out that women lack, and men also lack, a lot of good common sense on a lot of different things. And that's why we sometimes get in situations in 30s and in our 30s or in our 40s like this, because we lack common sense. We lack common sense. That's just what that is. We lack discretion. We don't know how to accept constructive criticism. We romanticize some of the most, I would say, silliest things. But because people are so desperate for love, or they want that love and that attention, they'll accept hey, Renisha, they'll accept the ideal of love rather than really being in love with a person, that person being in love with them. So, yeah, that's really how I see it. I really feel like a lot of times, and y'all tell me if I'm talking too much, because like I said, I know some content creators, they just be talking and just be talking about nothing. And the chat don't be moving. So I just don't want to do that to you guys. But I wanted to make sure that I get you guys to understand that, it's more, it should be more to you than what people see. That's why I named it The Real You Shows Through the Makeup. It shows through, if you're a mean person, if you're a nice person, if you try to treat people like you want to be treated. You know, like I said, I had some incidents on here to where people I felt like have misjudged me, and that is okay because they weren't supposed to be in around anyway in my life. And I thank God that they removed themselves if I didn't block them. So when you find people that choose not to see the real you, but they want to choose to go by their perception of you, that's really not your problem. But the thing is you have to make sure you're representing exactly who you are too. Even if they got the wrong perception, make sure that you are actually representing the person that you really are, you want to be. You know, like I said, I'm not always nice all the time, but I really make an effort to be nicer because I know me, especially if you rub me the wrong way. Like it's up when I see you. So I have to really be conscious about my growth. I really have to really be conscious about um treating people the way I want to be treated. I have to, hey, too cool, what's good? Good to see you. I have to really be conscious about not wanting to whoop your ass when I see you. All that kind of stuff. I gotta really be conscious if you put a foul comment up under my comment section, not to want to retaliate and say something and go off on you and do a whole live. I gotta be conscious about making sure that I don't always respond in the way people expect me to be to respond. You have to be conscious about your growth. You know what I'm saying? That if you okay with being mean and hateful and evil, hey, do you, boo? Ain't nobody trying to change you. But if you not okay with that, if you really do want to change, and or you really do see some things in your life that you could do over, or you know feel like you could work on, then do. Because at the end of the day, you're not hurting anybody but yourself. You being mean and hateful to people that ain't bothering you, you ain't that hey, you ain't hurting nothing nobody but yourself. So when these people, like I said, especially women, they put so much emphasis on the outside, how they look, from their hair to their nails to they what they got on, to looking all good and going getting whatever type of plastic surgery, but your spirit is foul. You don't know how to treat nobody. And then sometimes what baffles me, sometimes it's not always the attractive women. Sometimes it's not the not so attractive women. And my grandmother used to always say, if you're not even cute, you need to be nice to everybody, but you need to be nice to people in spite of, you know what I'm saying? Like you whether you pretty or not, if people don't bother you, you don't bother them. But, I've noticed, so many times as women, we do focus on our outside more than we do on our inside. We want to attract a man. That's good, but can we keep them? Can we keep them if we got this foul attitude? If we lack common sense and we about as dumb as a box of rocks? Because it's some pretty women, but they dumb, and it's some unattractive women, and they're dumb. It's some unattractive women that lack common sense. Because they, like I said, they put on the makeup. Because I don't know if you. Right, Renisha. I don't know if y'all ever seen some of these makeup tutorials. And if you've ever watched some of the makeup tutorials, before you see the person, before how they look with, I would say without the makeup, I'm gonna say after they've done the makeup, then they cam up, right? And that's the initial vision that you see of them. You're like, oh, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And when they go back and you see them cam up and show how they started doing their makeup, they, most of the time, this is most of the time, y'all, they look like two total different people, right? Two total different people. And not all, but a lot of the times. So when you see that, I've always said makeup can sometimes be sorcery. There's some women that can do with or without, right? There's some women that that need it, you know. And so when they do really need it, and you see them with it on in the weave and everything, you're like, wow, they a dime, they fine, they this, they that. When you sleep with that woman and the next day you wake up, you're wondering, where did that woman go? Oh, she's there. She's right there in the bed with you. She just don't look like what you expected her to look like, because you were looking at the makeup and the hair and the outfit, and if her body was right, that's what you was looking at. But when you wake up that next morning, you seeing something totally different, you know. And that's just how, some women, it can be. And it's even like I said, with a really pretty woman, even with a pretty woman that can not wear makeup, she doesn't have to wear makeup. She could be all beautiful to you. And as this older woman say, don't let the men speak sweet nothings. That woman can speak sweet nothings in your ear, and she got good game, and she talking her stuff, and you think, oh man, I got a dime. I got something special. Then you really down the line, you get with this woman, you like, she's crazy as hell. Like I said, it's so many different sides to this. So many different sides to this. And women, we put on a good front, especially and every men and women. I'm just being honest with you. When you go on dates with people, most of the time you're meeting the representative. You're not meeting the real person. So what I started to do was I just put off their representative, and I'm like, please, I don't want your representative to, like, look, tell me what it is. And I had went on a lunch date Monday, on my day off. And I was talking to him, to a guy that, I was with. And as I was talking to him, he was really telling me a lot of things that was really going on in his life. Now, I've known this person for a minute. So for him to really just be straight up honest on his situations, on what he was dealing with at the time, it actually was quite refreshing. I didn't meet his representative. I actually met him. And this is what we all need to really start, being more, just a tad bit transparent, not to where you are on a first date with somebody and you telling them your whole life story and telling them all your business. That doesn't make sense. Like I said, you have to use discretion and discernment. But at the same time, you do have to let people know where you are. you know, don't be saying, oh, I'm single, I ain't dating nobody, but you living with somebody. And you know good and well that, you really don't want to be with this person. Hey, Capital C. But if you, if anything ever happens, you got me in your back pocket. That's how you think it. You got me on the sidelines. And this is why, it's hard to date people, because you meeting people representative and you're not meeting the person, and their situation. So when the person was telling me his situation, what was going on in his life at the time, it was very refreshing to me. And it started to make me feel comfortable, to the point to where I know that, okay, he's told me this, so I cannot be surprised, right? So all I'm saying is, I think we all have put on a representative when we meet people, instead of really just being who we are. And sometimes for some of us, being who we are is not a good thing. Not all, not all, but some people you like, you need to keep your representative on because you just as Looney Tune. Hope I spoke to you, capital C. It's good to see you, sweetie. But they just as Looney Tune is crazy as hell. But like I said, that was very refreshing when on that. It was really refreshing to hear a man tell me what he had going on. That's all I'm saying. And really, when you know what people got going on or what how they are, how they're operating, it can kind of help you to know how to move too, you know, on certain things. Hey Jenny, what's good? So it can kind of help you to how to move better too. So, like I said, we as women, we have to be very cautious of not putting so much work and money in our outside when our inside is lacking. Hey Russell. Okay, hit the thank you. I appreciate you, Russell, for coming through. So yeah, you just really have to be very cautious on how you deal with yourself and other people, and not to not to be so into your outside where your inside is jacked up. Because this, like I said, I've met some attractive women, but if you have a conversation with them, sometimes they like, oh my God. I'm like, for some, you know, it's some crazy men out here, but it's some crazy women. And I be wondering, for some of the men that's decent, how are you guys dealing with these type, how do y'all deal with these type of women? Or do you not? And don't always think, well, I'm gonna go for the unattractive one, because you got some unattractive women just as crazy as a Bessie Bug as well. So it's all just messed up either way. You just have to find somebody, I would say, that's on your level, on what you want, and like I said, get beyond the looks or get beyond how good the sex is, because all of that's gonna play out. You want somebody, if you feel like something happened to you, they would still be there. I always talk about this story, and I will keep talking about it because it meant so much to me to see it. And for some apparent reason, God wanted me to see it. I feel, because, like I told y'all, my brother-in-law, who I was really close with, I like you, Selena, when you say crazy, beautiful ladies had to say that I'm gone. Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember when my brother-in-law was in the hospital, and he was just, like I said, he was dying and everything. And then my sister was right there with my brother-in-law holding his hand. And if my sister got up to go use the restroom, he would just be, just like waiting for her to come back. He wanted her to be right there with him the whole time. They really had something exceptional to me. And that type of love is not something that happens all the time, and it's very rare when it does happen. So when you see that, it is so refreshing to see how really love is supposed to be. Marriage is supposed to be. It said, "Death do you part." Through sickness and in health. Those are really meaningful vows that people have really misused. They have really abused um, the whole. I would just say the constitution of marriage. It's just really like a downhill. Um, it's just downhill. The whole ideal of marriage is not like it used to be when I was, coming up, and I would see my grandparents and great grandparents and my uncles and aunts and How they still, I have uncles and aunts that have been together for 40 years, 60 years. I've seen a lot of that. So, and like I said, with my sister, I seen that, and I'm like, when my brother-in-law saw my sister, he was into looks, too, but then he saw beyond that. He saw that my sister was a country girl, you know, she was nice. She was pleasant to be around. She didn't have just going around with a bad attitude. She was a person that believed in family. Those are the type of things that my brother-in-law, because I remember him telling me things like that, what he saw in my sister, besides the looks. And that's why I say you got to be more than the looks. You gotta be more than what people see on the outside, and how you present yourself, because really the real you is always going to shine through that, good, bad, or indifferent. So we as women have to be more intentional about how we present ourselves. Like I said, we don't always get it right, and we're not always going to get it right, because guess what? We're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things. And sometimes the things that we do is because of a generational curse, or it's behavior, learned behavior that we've learned from someone else in our family, whether mother, father, big sister, auntie, or whomever. And sometimes learned behavior is not always good behavior. And you start to, capital C. And that's what I'm saying. You know, you got to have somebody that's going to really be there and really be intentional about being committed in a relationship. And so that's why I said, men, when y'all do find someone, or if you're attracted to someone, make sure that they have some of the attributes that you would, see for the long haul. You could see that person for the long haul. Like I say, looks fade and they go away. When you get older, you start sagging, you start wrinkling, you start getting gray hair in places that you didn't think could happen in places. So there's a lot of things that happens to your body when you get older. So looks are not going to always be, and makeup can't cover everything. You know what I'm saying? I met some older women, got some nasty attitudes. I'm like, how do you get through this life with that nasty attitude, being as old as you are? But hey, guess anything can happen. Okay, what you say, Captain C? You say bad, that love line that is so rare when it's supposed to be annoying. Right, it's supposed to be, but we're not living in that type of society anymore that your mother and father and your grandparents are living in. And I'm not saying even all in their, relationships was all great either, because some people have some horrible family history. But for the most part, a lot of people back then believe in courting and getting married and settling down and having kids and working things out and not running away when things get tough. See, it's easy when things are going good, but when things are going bad, that's when the real character of a person comes out. Now, had my sister been a thought or somebody that could not stand under pressure, when my brother-in-law was in the hospital dying and going through his last days, even though she, because he left her a very wealthy woman, she didn't have to go back to that hospital and be with him. She could have let him just down in that hospital, because he was dying anyway. And some women are like that. They cold-hearted, and men are too. You have some cold-hearted men and women. But because the love was real and it was true, my sister was going to be there. Hey, B Rob, how are you? How are you doing? Hey, Sassy, good to see you. My sister was going to be there because she had substance. She had more than her looks. She had substance to her. And she understood the commitment of love and marriage. And she understood the love that my brother-in-law had for her and her children. That was a man worth being there for. That was a man that took care of his family and put his family first. I mean, he put God first, but he put his family also second, you know. But he put his family in a very important place in his life where most men wouldn't. He went to my nephew's games, and he would, whatever family event we would have, he was there to support us. You know, even, you know, when I had things to happen in my life, like good things, you know, he was there. It was, you know, so he was a man worth standing by. And on his last days, as my sister held his hand, you know, it's like, this is unreal, because it doesn't, it's very rare that it exists. But you have to have people that have the character and the heart to even understand and to be in the space that these people are in. And what I mean by that is, people that don't have they don't have that type of spirit, a good spirit, a loving spirit. They can't even fathom nothing like this, nothing even close. Number one, it's not in them, and they've never experienced it. They never seen it. And for some of us in this life, we probably, you know, some of us won't, because people are different now. Social media has taught us that looks is most important. You on social media, on Instagram, I'm showing you how great my life is. Hey D, but I'm not showing you that after when the lights is off and the cameras off, I'm not showing you I cry in at night. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about in general, how people do. They have such a great life on social media, but they're empty. They have the best clothes, the best cars. They got all the money that they could want, that you could want. They're not struggling financially. They can go anywhere they want to on a private jet, but they're still empty. They have no other substance besides material things and surface things. And ladies and gentlemen, that's just not going to do. And it's not going to last. So when I look at things like this, I'm so glad that I saw it with my own eyes. I hate to have to see my brother-in-law suffer. That was what I hated. But what the lesson that I learned in that, if I ever met someone that treated me like I was his beloved and he was my beloved, would I be so loving and gracious in his last days? Would I be would I be worried about myself so much to where I'm like, you know, how much money am I gonna get when he dies? You know, that kind of thing. You know, so people are very different now. They have really, you know, not all people are like that. There is still, I believe, some good wholehearted people in this world. You know, sometimes I think it's few and far in between, and you'll hear me say that a lot because that's what I believe. I just don't think it's just common. But because if it was, it wouldn't be so much hate. But I just think about stuff like that, and I say, you know, I gotta work on my character. I gotta work on, you know, me and my inner person. Yeah, I like to be cute, but do I have a pleasant pleasant spirit. Like, do I try to be kind for the most part? Now, like I said, you rub me the wrong way and you coming at me, you gonna get what you get. But I'm talking about just in general, just walking around, just I'm not, being mad at the world. That's when you got a problem. That's when, you know, you really gonna have to check yourself. But even then, if it's a person that come at you, are you still gonna handle it the same way that you would have handled it a year or two ago? Or have you grown to an extent to where it's like, I'm not going to react this way, I'm going to react this way. I'm going to choose to react a different way than what is expected of me to act, that kind of thing. So, like I said, I think I've talked long enough. um, Capital C said it's all on us. Can you Miss, I think this is Shanwaka. I don't know. Can you kind of cam up to see? Let me see if you're a person. Like, because I don't want nobody. Okay, so yeah, you gonna keep your ass off of here because I don't know what you got going on, but you are definitely not coming on my panel. You freaking weirdo. So yeah, you got some real nasty ass people on here. This one weirdo come on here, and that's why I like to, cause see, you ain't coming on my platform trying to disrupt my show. You keep your pathetic, nasty, demonic ass where you are and go somewhere else where they have a demonic channel, you weirdo. Yeah, but yeah, you see, that's why I say, in this world, you really have to be very cautious of folks because, like I said, there's good people, but they are few and far in between. So you see, I used common sense. Said you can't let me see before I let you up, and I'm glad I did. Oh, sick ass. Keep your ass from over here. This is not the platform for you, you demonic troll. So yeah, you have to kind of speak that. These folks is crazy as hell. But you know what? I'm crazier. Keep playing with me. But yeah, so and then if you change your name again, you still banned. You do it again, you gonna be banned from that one. Yeah, these some sickos. But yeah, you're right, Capital C, and that's why I'm saying, I know you've had some examples, being a country boy, you have seen your parents and people in your family that probably been together for 30 and 40 years, and you really have seen how a real relationship and a real marriage is supposed to be. So I I really, like I said, I really look at those type of things, and that really blesses me when I see stuff like that in marriage, that people can stick together. Like I say, you got to get beyond the looks of a person and actually see who their character is. Now, my character kept me from really going really off and telling this person what I really want to tell him. But because I am growing and maturing in different areas of my life, I don't let demonic people like this get me to the point to where I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs and just cussing, just crazy, cussing the person out. But like I said, you're dealing with a lot of demonic people on here. Yeah, trying to show me his little white penis. Keep your keep that little white Peter in your pants, you old moron. Your sick ass. There's some sick, there's some sick people out here. And then it's like the person came on with a black woman and a child. So it must be somebody that be watching me. It's a lot of haters on here, but they sick ass. They ain't got nothing else to do but cause confusion. And they'll come on here trying to interrupt stuff. But like I say, I'm still going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. But my character kept me from really going off and making a fool of myself, because really they the fool at the end of the day. Anybody that wants to go around flashing people to get their life taken down has nothing more to do besides be a butthole and just to prove that their life is actually miserable and perverted. Hey, Real Chase, what's popping? Yeah, somebody was trying to flash me with a little white I guess it was a penis, because they have some. It was small, so it could have been a Vienna sausage. I don't know what it was, but he tried to get up here and tried to get me to, I guess, get my live taken down. Yeah, a Real Chase. Yeah, that's why I said that. Before I let this thing, I always try to check people when they come up, especially if I ain't never seen you. So that's why I told him. I said I need for you to cam up. All I seen is some little white Vienna sausage, and he thought he was really doing something. But I guess he thought I was dumb or slow. And that's another thing with character. I'm far far from dumb. Thought I was gonna let him up. Yeah, he thought I was gonna let him up, and I'm just so nice, and I just love the Lord. I'm gonna let your ass, nigga, please. Told y'all where I'm from. I don't have to remind some of these crazy folks on here. But yeah, he tried to porn bomb me, honey. But he found out real quick. Yo, you ain't bringing your sick buying sausage up here, because I'm still building on my character. And yeah, I don't play that. These people weird. No, he ain't packing. That thing is a Vienna sausage. My parents did 43 years before death parted them. They had a true love. That's all I'm talking about, capital C. My grandparents was married, I think, 59 years before my grandfather passed. 59 years. Like I said, I have so many people, like older people in my family, been married 30 or 40 years. Right. Beans and weenie looking a little penis. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gotta come better the next time, punk. I don't know where these people think I come from. Just cause I love the Lord don't mean I won't set it off. Y'all done got me all confused. You better go over there to somebody else's panel and mess with them, you weird. Ooh, like I said, Lord. Yes. Let me bring it back. But anyway, it's all good. I'm on. Wow, Real Chase. Let me ask you this, Real Chase. Have marriage, and I know marriage is difficult, sometimes it can be. But do you think, and see, this is what I was asking my sister, when you've married the right person, this is, from what I've heard from her, you can work things out. It's not like it's something that's unattainable. And with you being married 17 years, could you ever see yourself, Real Chase, with any other woman besides your wife? Like, do you really feel like your wife is like basically your soulmate or something like that? And I don't even know if that's real, but when I saw this incident with my sister and my brother-in-law, I'm starting to believe that, maybe soulmates are real, because now I know some people I've met, they married for convenience, but because they didn't want to be alone, or they had a child together. You said that's true, Selena. My marriage is not perfect, but I never find this again. Okay, so that's kind of what she was telling me too, because um I think in relationships there's always going to have to be work. You're always going to have to work on a relationship. But if you have, I would think, two people like you and your wife, y'all are committed and y'all are willing to see things through, I think it can work. You know, I really do. And that is awesome that you have been married 17 years. That's really awesome. Because in this day and time, and you seem like you probably you in your 30s or 40s, but I know people in their 30s and 40s, it's like they can't stay married a year. You know, it's like after a year, that's all she wrote. So, you know, they don't see marriage as longevity anymore like they used to. And that's really sad. Okay, you said people only see the good, but not the work put in it together. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying too. Because there will be some bad days. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are not always gonna like each other's ways. That's just a part of life, you know, or being in any type of relationship. You're not gonna like each other's ways. But um if you like the person for the most part, you know, and you love the person, and like I said, y'all both willing to keep working on y'all relationship. Like I see that, you know, real Chase, and that's like my sister and my brother-in-law. You travel with your wife, you go places with your wife. Y'all seem like y'all have a lot of fun with each other, and that's another thing that will add, I think, will add longevity to a person's marriage when they're actually doing something with their partner that they enjoy doing. So when I see, you know, when you take pictures of you and your wife traveling, I think that's a really great thing, because it keeps your marriage refreshed. It keeps you guys liking each other and enjoying being around each other. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm pretty sure Chase, like my sister, that's basically your best friend. You know, um, when you enjoy a person, you're around a person and stuff, and you share a life with a person, that really becomes your best friend. So, like I said, we, you know, men and, you know, and women, we have to get beyond so much yeah, okay, Jay, we have to get beyond so much how beautiful a person is, and really see the person, the character of a person, because like I said, you get a lot of these folks, they may look good on the outside, but honey, the stuff you got to go through to deal with them and to be around them is probably more than you can bargain for. So I think we all have to really pay attention to the character of a person. Do we enjoy a person and things of that nature? That's the longevity of any relationship, or just being a decent person, which most folks, I'm like, Lord have mercy, the society we live in. Like I said, there's good people. I just think there's few and far in between. Um, that's just my belief on it. So, and every day I am proven right. So, if you're not trying to work on yourself and mind your business and enjoy your life and love the folks that, you know, that's in your life and deal with them, then, you know, but you so mean and hateful in other people's business, you're just a miserable person. Or are you trying to cause confusion and chaos and do all kinds of stuff? You're just a miserable person. So I just, like I said, those type of people I just back away from. But guys, I had a really good time talking my tail off. Um, I really wish that I had somebody who was brave enough to get on the panel and we could have a conversation. But I did enjoy bringing this to you guys' attention. Like I said, check out if you're interested in who the elf I married. Derek Branch does a really good job with giving an explanation of all, you know, everything that happened. And so if you're interested in the story, but guys, love you to Reese's Pieces. Thank you so much for coming through. I hope that there was something that you got out of this, because like I said, talked about a lot. Like I said, the real you is going to show through that makeup. So, yeah, make sure that your character lines up with your looks, at least some of it. Like I said, none of us are perfect. Thank you for coming through, Real Chase. I appreciate you press the like button, and tell your wife about me, Real Chase, and tell her to sub up to me. You know, if she wants some different type of content. I don't know if she'd be on YouTube or not, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that came through and gave a comment. Yeah, I really do. So love you guys to Reese's Pieces. I don't know when the next time I'm going to go live, but just press the notification button so you'll always know when I am going live. And thank you guys for coming through. Bye. Thank you, Renisha.